We find certain areas where it feels like the bone is covered with something or overgrown, or where muscles are attached to it, or where everything is stagnant. We work through those areas. That is according to the principle, like a kind of free slider. You see a target and we shoot at it. So for now, for starters, this is probably the main point for you. This will be optimal. That is, you find a muscle that's dysfunctional and you restore it. As you go over the whole body, you will inevitably find most of the problem areas. This is basically how one of our acquaintances works. A master who used to do 3-hour, even 5-hour full body massages. In other words, he skillfully works through the entire body, treating it. This is about Alexander Ivanov. He thoroughly and competently works through the whole body, restoring normal mobility and condition to every part. And as a result, he gets a proper outcome from the massage. Something similar can also be done at the level of Swedish massage. That is, you go through and restore normal condition and mobility to each part. Again, you test mobility and other factors through passive movements. Moreover, these passive movements can be not only at the joint level, in terms of range of motion, but also at the level of soft tissues. For example, you take and move a section of soft tissue and observe what the difference is. Here it doesn't move, not at all. So here, somewhere around the heel, now we're looking with our eyes, but yours isn't alive. Seek and you shall find. Let's try it on each other. This is exactly that lazy method when we don't analyze anything, but simply find the movable spot, find the tight muscles, and we target them. We deal with them using our entire arsenal. And accordingly, as we go along, I'll show you some nuances of this arsenal. So you've already understood some of the techniques, right? Still, just a little bit more, just for a short while. Actually, it's even better for us to go back. Yes, more material. Consequently, how exactly will our own technique differ from the others? Let's say classical techniques from the techniques. For example, in classical massage, we have the technique of longitudinal squeezing, right? There's also the herringbone technique. Here, we perform the herringbone technique much more firmly. And the goal is to create a tissue shift between the fingers. So the purpose of the herringbone technique, if here, as you can see, we have squeezing like this. Sequentially, which is how it's done in classical massage, here we make these shifting movements. The fingers move relative to each other. Now here, as you can see, it's uncomfortable for her. Why? Because her cardiac nerve is a bit pinched here. The muscles are overstrained. We're passing by, so it's a little painful here, but it's not the nerve that's pinched, just the muscles. Similarly, we can use this same counter-shifting herringbone technique on the intermuscular septa. Right here is exactly where the intermuscular septum runs, between the adductor muscles and the extensor muscles of the thigh. I just went over it a little bit, just a tiny bit. Compare. This leg, you see, looks more flattened compared to the other one, and the tissues here have become softer. Can you feel it? That's one option. Here's a second option. In classical massage, we did regular kneading like this, or double ring kneading like this. In Swedish massage, we can do this. This is the regular kneading. And there, it was considered that first of all, spreading your fingers was a mistake. In classical massage, you don't do it like this with your fingers spread apart. Here, it's exactly the opposite, please. Here, the muscles can go like this. They can slip between the fingers like this, but only with oil during kneading. And we can use our fingers like little rakes, moving along the muscles and searching for specific problem spots. We can use our thumbs or let them slip through here like this. And notice that my stretching movements go against the direction of blood and lymph flow, but away from the muscle's attachment point. At the same time, keep in mind that you shouldn't be rough in nature, and you shouldn't make these kinds of movements against the blood and lymph flow. You shouldn't do movements like these either. This here doesn't affect the blood and lymph flow in that direction. Here I'm stretching some of our structures. Am I doing it right? And basically, I'm facilitating the circular lymph flow that goes in this direction. I'm relieving the tension. Simply put, if my muscle attaches here, then I should stretch it away from the attachment point, right? Next, let's say we have a group of peroneal muscles right here. Right here, we can work it out very precisely and carefully, either by doing it exactly like this, or perhaps like this by using our thumbs while pressing it down very thoroughly. And at the same time, the movement downward still dominates. So we enter the muscle, pull it down and inward. Again, enter down and inward. Enter down and inward. And we do all of this very slowly. If someone has issues here, it can be painful, but if everything is fine, then it's all good. Yes, there are bones, but in the areas I've worked on, everything is already fine. What true joy to cause a little mischief, even to your own friend. Igor Mironovich Guberman. And who is here? Oh, see? Yes. This is the moment I like the most. By the way, I hope that was recorded because I have a certain demand for it. The Germans, for example, are good. They pay for soundtracks. Over there, films about the lives of delivery guys are in fashion. They sit on pensions. These are exactly the kinds of things they are very eager to buy. When naturally, sincerely, this is... Oh, there is only one thing left. Yeah?
Yes, yes, yes.
Das ist Fantasie, because you have to eat. Das ist Fantasie. This even requires a bonus. Yes, now you'll show it to the Germans. It's interesting. Yes, in Russian. Well, it sounds quite decent in German. We Russians have our own associations with this. Oh, how is it now? Is it good?
It's good now, yes. A little lower than the pelvis.
Well, right here, completely. And this probably relates more to this area. Yes, just a little bit here. Well, that's fine. We'll torture it later. After all, others should get a chance to torture something too. Of course. So, did you get the general idea? So, feel free to invent your own techniques. What's important here is that you palpate the muscle, that you find the attachment point. You can actually lift the muscle with force like this. Really lift it as if you're tearing it off a bit. There's also kneading there. With your thumb. These kinds of kneading motions, basically, as if you're kneading something, like a lump of modeling clay. Not like in the classic technique, where you're supposed to just gently perform these squeezing movements globally across the muscle. Here you're getting into individual fibers. You can get in like this or like this. Any way you like. Don't forget to do effleurage and tapping from time to time. Tapping is very useful to relax your